What's up, Vault Dwellers? Dan here. I've been thinking about fear a lot recently, like what it was like to be really scared after watching movies. And I realized I really haven't felt that way since like the 1980s. Obviously, it was probably my age. I was born in 1974, so the 80s took me from elementary school all the way to high school. But it was also how those movies took away so many safe things from us. The places we trusted, the places that were supposed to make us feel safe. They killed those, literally. And I want to talk about that. The 80s came for every place we ever felt safe, and it took them one at a time until there was nowhere left to run. And the first place it came for was the biggest, the outdoors. Like all of it, the forest, the campground, the lake, the trails, and the dark on the far side of the firelight. So this isn't a list of movies, and it's not a countdown. It's a trip. I want to walk you back into the woods, like all the way in, the way we used to go without thinking twice about it. And I want you to feel that exact spot where the outdoors turned on us, because it happened to all of us at about the same age, and I don't think any of us ever really went back. It always starts like the same way. A car full of people who just seem happy. The windows are down, somebody's riding with their feet on the dash, maybe they have a map that nobody can read, and then the pavement runs out. It turns to gravel, and then the gravel turns to dirt. And then the trees close up over the road behind you like a door swinging shut. And that's the shot. That is the one the whole decade trained us to dread. The moment the road goes to dirt and the branches meet overhead, and some like old animal part of the brain sits straight up, because we have seen exactly where this is going to go. The farther in you drive, the thinner the thread back to help gets, until it snaps, and you're just like soft bodies with a cooler and a change of clothing, a long way from anybody who could hear you scream.
I told the others. They didn't believe me. You're all doomed. You're all doomed.
And we didn't used to feel that way, because our parents drove us down roads like that all the time and then waved goodbye to us at the gate. They called it camp.
Hey, wasn't that the road up for Camp Crystal Lake back there? I think we better stop.
The main feature of every camp, it's always their private lake. And the 80s made lakes just terrifying. They took that from us, especially Camp Crystal Lake. It did something to a whole generation that no amount of growing up has ever fully fixed. Because camp was real for us when we were young. The bunks, the canoes, the counselors who were just barely older than we were, and the whole strange idea that your mom and dad would drive you deep into the woods for a week and just say goodbye. Friday the 13th walked straight into that memory and started turning the lights off, one at a time. And here's what made it stay. It was never the killer. It was the place. It was the lake. The black water that was 3 feet under the dock. The cabin that smelled like mildew and bug spray. The dark aisle between the bunks after lights out. It took a spot every single one of us had filed under safe and boring and fun, and it made every shadow in it something with teeth. And it was patient, not a thing that jumps out at you, a thing that waits in the tree line while you swim, while you sneak off with somebody, and takes you at the exact moment you feel most alive and least watched. There were bodies you didn't find until you're already standing on it. The adults, the counselors, the people whose entire job was to keep you safe out there, they were dead in the trees before you even understood the night had started. You know, I used to love going to the lake near my home, and they had this raft that was 30 feet out in the water that you could swim to. And the 80s took that from me. It wasn't safe on the water, not even like on a canoe. Just like Jaws made my parents afraid of swimming in the ocean, the 80s made swimming at the lake terrifying to me. By 1983, the word summer camp landed on a kid like a threat. We heard it and we pictured the tree line.
We're gonna go on, so you gotta get ready to go on. Okay. All right.
And those movies, they went even deeper than that. They made us afraid to be on the trail, in the backcountry. Because once we hiked past that last place a payphone ever existed, you would reach the real thing, which is part of the forest that was never ours to begin with. Because out past the trailhead, the trees, they're not empty, they're occupied. And whatever lives out there was here a long time before we were. And it does not want us tramping through its front door with a backpack and a canteen, taking some pictures. This is the fear of the tree line itself, of being watched by something that sees you just fine, while all we see is nothing but green and darkness. The movies knew exactly what that nerve was. They marched hikers up a mountain, let them feel the woods staring for a good long while before anything ever touched them. The whole genre filled up with what was waiting out there past the marked trail. The locals, the hermits, the family in the farmhouse, the mountain man who was half tree himself. And the message, it never changed. Out here, you're not the top of anything. And every one of these, they always had a campfire. The night everyone circles up and somebody tells the legend of the thing in these specific woods, and the group laughs. Well, except for that one kid who doesn't laugh. And the joke and the threat were the same. Say his name and he will come. And we sat there in our bunk beds at home, absolutely certain that if we said it, he would.
You'll start to fall before night's over. I'll get you all. His name is Madman Ma.
And when the woods finally start to close in on you, you run for the only thing out there that still looks like shelter, the cabin in the woods. This is the deepest hole the decade ever dug, and the movie that built this hole wider than any was The Evil Dead. 5 kids, 1 cabin, at the literal end of the road, so far into the forest, the only bridge out starts to collapse into the river behind them.
Jesus Christ, the whole thing's falling apart on us! Don't let the noise fool you, girls. This thing is solid as a rock.
And they walk inside thinking that 4 walls and a roof still means what it always meant. It means the opposite out there. A cabin in these woods is a box sitting in the middle of the thing that actually wants you, with the door thoughtfully shut so you can't see it coming. Because the woods, they still get in. This is the film where the forest reached through the windows, where the trees themselves, they came alive, and they wrapped around them and dragged them across the ground, and nature stopped being scenery and turned into hands. And then it gets into the people they came with, the friends that they laughed with the whole drive up. They go down into that cellar, and something else comes back up.
Die? You're not gonna leave me here, are you? Are you ass?
That face in the floor, it's carved into every one of us. It was somebody that you love, somebody in the dark of that cellar, looking up, and it's not them anymore. And it's never going to be them again. There's no phone, there's no road, there's no morning coming to get you. There is only the cabin and the whole forest leaning on all four walls. The evil dead took the last idea any of us had left out there. The walls keep the outside, and it pulled it down through the floorboards.
Daddy, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be just fine. You'll see.
The other thing these movies took from us, it was the night. Because in the woods, there's no street lights, no glow from town on the clouds, nothing but the little circle your campfire throws, and past the edge of it, just total black. And they filled those nights with sound. A branch snapping, a step that stops when you stop, that breathing that isn't yours, from a direction that keeps changing, and those sounds, the sounds of something hunting in the dark. And you lie there in a tent, which is a bag made of nothing, a wall you could put a finger through, and you listen to the woods walk around you all night, and you do not unzip that flap. You just wait for a sunrise you're no longer sure is coming. That is the state these movies left us in, like prey, small, soft, blind, and just listening. The animal we used to be, remembering what it was for. And it just always seems to come back to the water, because the lake, it's the heart of the woods, the still dark eye in the middle of everything, and the decade kept ending its stories right there at the shore. Sleepaway Camp spends a whole summer at a lakeside camp and then boils the entire thing down to one held image. That figure standing at the edge of the water in the gray light of dawn, making a sound that just no person makes. Long past the point you want it to stop. That's the real last shot of the outdoors. The lake at first light, the exact picture of the safest, sleepiest summer morning there ever was, and standing in the shallows, hissing at us, is what the woods had become while we weren't paying attention.
Boy.
So what happens? Well, we stopped going into the woods, and that's the real inheritance here. You can measure it yourself. Like right now, if you see a cabin at the end of a dirt road, that doesn't read vacation to us. It reads as a warning. We stopped camping and listening to the sounds of the forest at night through that thin nylon wall. The 80s reached into the one place a kid was completely, gloriously free, the entire green outdoors, and it left something in the trees, and most of us came inside and just quietly stayed there. And here's the part that nobody warned us about. Coming inside, it didn't help. We ran out of the trees, up the porch steps, through the door, threw back the deadbolt, and stood there in the dark of our own homes, catching our breath, just sure we'd finally made it, sure that these walls were different, sure that the thing in the woods would stay in the woods. Next time, we're going to find out how it followed us home, that it was already upstairs, already under the bed, maybe even in the closet or the attic, or waiting for us down in the basement, in the dark, at the bottom of the stairs. The woods, they were only the first room. So you got inside and you locked the door, and we'll find out together whether that ever helped anybody. Keep it weird, folks.